Bittersweet doesn't begin to describe how everybody feels around here today, because as you might have heard or seen on social media with us today, investigative reporter Carmel Cafiero is retiring after 43 years at this television station.
43 years, can you imagine? In those 4+ decades, her passion, persistence, and pointed questions have set a journalism standard here in South Florida. And we have a look back now at Carmel's great body of work.
I'd like you to leave my premises.
Hands off the camera. We'll leave.
Turn your hands off of me.
Who are you?
This is the Carmel Cafiero you know. The tough, no-nonsense, won't take no comment for an answer.
How can you justify giving out 1 million oxycodone pills? Don't touch the camera. Don't touch the camera.
Always on the case, and usually on someone's tail.
Mr. Rodriguez, where are you going? Wait, Mr. Rodriguez. Oh.
But this is the Carmel Cafiero you probably don't know. A New Orleans native, Carmel worked in radio before landing at WSVN-TV in Baton Rouge, where she was the first woman to anchor an evening newscast in Louisiana. Then it was on to South Florida for another first. Carmel joined Channel 7, then called WCKT, in 1973 as a general assignment reporter, becoming the first female journalist at our station.
She was certainly a trailblazer at this station and in the industry, without a doubt.
And without a doubt, in newsrooms, like in many other workplaces at the time, there were mostly men.
Not only was she doing, breaking stories, she was breaking ceilings with who she was and the quality of her professionalism.
Carmel Cafiero.
The thing that I find rewarding about my work is informing people. And if by informing people we can avoid one person from being hurt or taken in, then it's a success.
In one of Carmel's first big stories, she wore a wig and went undercover to expose unlicensed doctors who performed abortions and clinic workers who told women they were pregnant when they weren't. Carmel was told she was pregnant based on a urine sample from her male photographer.
There are plenty of people looking to separate South Floridians from their money. It's true now, and back when Carmel was earning her stripes as our station's consumer specialist.
You'll also want to make sure that you read the contract. Airlines, rental cars, insurance, credit. How do you deal with them all?
And sometimes the deal really did stink.
Take a deep breath. Your last fresh air.
Ooh, I can smell it.
Carmel exposed defective Chinese drywall being used in thousands of South Florida homes and condos. And she warned about pet jerky treats from China that were blamed for the deaths of hundreds of dogs. Carmel also pulled the cover off a dirty secret inside some used mattresses being sold as new.
We found dirt. We found stains. We found hair. We even found stains on cardboard in the children's mattress.
And then these two words, pill mills.
It's the biggest story that I can ever recall as far as our television station with the video that they shot.
In 2008, Carmel blew the lid off an unfolding national epidemic, and Broward County was ground zero.
And it was a scourge on our community. 7 Floridians a day were dying from overdoses.
Millions of highly addictive prescription painkillers flowed freely from clinics to people, many from out of state, who used, abused, and sold them.
We have pictures of people snorting, shooting up in this parking lot after coming out of your clinic. I mean, what do you have to say about what's going on here?
I don't believe you're right.
But Carmel was right, and some clinic operators and doctors paid the price with their freedom. The series earned Carmel one of the most prestigious honors in journalism, the DuPont Columbia University Award. But more importantly for Carmel, it saved lives and helped change the law.
One of the things that, her stories were critical. We got that prescription drug monitoring program. The pill mill database was passed by the Florida legislature, mainly because of the media attention that Carmel brought to the problem.
Carmel also brought attention to another problem. Undercover video showed young teens barely dressed and overdosing outside a Pompano Beach nightclub.
Here, a girl is so out of it, she actually falls into her own vomit.
Carmel caught up with the club's owner, who was a convicted felon.
If you know anything about my background, then you'd leave me alone.
What does that mean?
Some people might have tried to hide from the law, but they couldn't hide from Carmel.
Don't run from me. Look, these people say, don't put that in my face, mister. And don't you think that as a public official, you ought to answer our questions? I'm wondering how you're able to park in a disabled spot.
Self-proclaimed celebrity psychic Miss Cleo never saw Carmel coming.
Call me for your free reading now.
The state said customers were deceived nationwide.
I think you are quite finished. Thank you, my dear.
Days after our country was attacked on September 11, 2001, Carmel was the first reporter who got a look inside terrorist Mohammed Atta's former Hollywood apartment.
But it will take more than soap and water to scrub away the stains and the ghosts left behind by the terrorist responsible for our national nightmare.
From the streets of South Florida to towns across the globe, Carmel went the distance to get the big stories. In 1997, she tracked down disgraced former Miami-Dade Commissioner Joe Gersten down under in Australia after he took off rather than face a civil contempt of court charge.
Do you think you'll ever go back to South Florida?
Never.
In 2013, Carmel traveled to a small town in Italy to interview the captain of one of the worst cruise ship disasters in history.
They called you this chicken of the sea. They've called you Captain Coward.
I cannot be a coward. If you are a captain of a ship, you are not a coward. Come on, this is a joke.
You think back about the kind of impact that she's had, whether it was after Hurricane Andrew and helping change the building code. She went down there and covered so much of that.
This is your roof, right? This is what your roof was made of?
Yeah.
Homeowners were stunned to discover their roofs had been made out of particle board.
Carmel covered the heartache after hurricanes devastated both of her hometowns.
I was born and raised in and around New Orleans. Coming back now is both a heartbreaking and a heartwarming journey.
And Carmel went a long way in helping to save a South Florida woman from herself.
Selma, oh my God.
Inside Selma Shapiro's home, a literal nightmare. Everything covered in pigeon and rat droppings and hundreds of rats, dead and alive. It took a monumental effort by many generous people to turn Selma's life around.
I didn't realize that people actually cared about me. I thought no one cared about me, but I found out differently.
Carmel did care about Selma and continues to care about South Florida.
I'm Carmel Cafiero from Channel 7. Can you tell me who is in charge here? That's not a tough question.
No, that wasn't. But in 43 years, there were plenty of tough questions asked in Carmel Cafiero's never-ending hunt for the truth.
Lives changed, laws changed. I'd say that's a career well spent.
Bad guys busted.
Yeah. Carmel did want to say goodbye to everybody who watched her over the years in her many, many investigations.
Ciao, ciao, Carmel. We'll miss you.
How do I say goodbye to you? Viewers I've never met, but somehow feel like I know. I was just a kid when I came to work at Channel 7, and in many ways I grew up here, both personally and professionally. I hope that in some small measure, my stories have helped make our community a better place. I am grateful to you for allowing me into your homes and for WSVN for giving me that opportunity. I may be hanging up the microphone, but I'll never hang up on South Florida. So, stay tuned.